Well, here we are, lined up for next Tuesday's very exciting book sale. This one, instead of it being our normal section of the book sale, got so many lovely books. It's a standalone 320 lot sale, essentially in 4 sections. And the first section I'm going to tell you about is a very nice section from a local property of science fiction, massively popular today. And we've got possibly one of the most prolific writers of the subject in Isaac Asimov. This is one of his famous books, I, Robot, which later turned into a film starring Will Smith for a start. He printed no less than 500 books on a whole host of subjects, including mathematics, how to use a slide rule, etc. Now, they say about property, location, location, location. With books, it's condition, condition, condition. And here, this book is complete with its dust jacket, its all-important dust jacket, printed in 1950, so 71 years ago, I, Robot. And it's just in really, really remarkable condition. A few little nicks to the extremities of the dust jacket, but this would be considered by collectors and dealers as in rather good shape. And we have that priced up in the sale. It's early in the sale, lot number 8, and it's coming in at £500 to £800, but I shall be surprised if it doesn't march on, as we say. Lot number 2 is the Arthur C. Clarke, one of his famous novels, Childhood's End. Again, a prolific writer and a remarkable visionary. There's Arthur Clarke in 1964 telling us all about how the future will have something where we can work at home from anywhere in the world, from Bali, Hong Kong, and connect with each other. And of course, he was talking about the internet, again, over 70 years ago. Just amazing. Condition, condition. There's Mr. Clarke. We do have a bit of damage on this one on the edge of that flap, and but that won't hold it back too much, I don't think. We have that priced in at £200 to £300. That's say, yeah, £200 to £300. A remarkable book, and possibly the book most demand in 20th century fiction is this very rare first edition of the Hobbit, Tolkien's Hobbit. Well, there it is, and only 1,500 copies of this book was printed, and until J.K. Rowling came along with Harry Potter, this was Britain's most printed work. And here we have the first edition. It came out in September in 1937, 1,500 copies only printed, and remarkably sold out by the December. Now, the book is rare enough. Now, my owner on this occasion, a gentleman living in East Sussex, he brought it in. I did say to him, pity you haven't got the dust jacket. And I was at home one evening about a week or so ago, and he rings me up and he says, I have got the dust jacket. Well, agreeably, it's not in great shape. But the point is, this is the first edition, first impression of this dust jacket. And how do we know this? And the reason we know this is because on the first front fly leaf, there's a correction. You can just pick it up here if I can find it. It's here, we are on the front. The word Dodgson is incorrectly spelt with an E. So some poor young lady would have had to go through all 1,500 copies with her little biro or a pen and strike out the E. Now this elevates it massively into a different sphere. Now, yes, we know it's in terrible condition. There's actually a piece missing from the top of the spine. But these days, paper conservationists are able to put this back together. And I think within a few months of it being sold, you won't recognise it. They'll have it put back together, and they'll even make facsimile copies in colour to fit in the missing pieces. Before we only had this, I was thinking maybe £2,000 or £3,000 or £4,000. Now I'm comfortably expecting 5,000 to 7,000, but watch this space. This could really take off. Next Tuesday, it's lot number 11. It's in currently at £5,000 to £8,000. Watch this space. Another rather nice story is we have C.S. Lewis's Narnia stories here. We've got all 7 volumes of it, all with their dust jackets, all in very nice condition indeed. And the owner of this set tells me that her father was at Oxford, where C.S. Lewis was teaching. He later went on to Cambridge as well. I made a decision on this lot not to offer them as a set, or the 7 volumes, but to split them up to give opportunities to those collectors of C.S. Lewis, the Narnia series, to buy missing copies of the books they don't have. So obviously, the first one in the series, which is this one, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, is probably the most valuable. You can see it's lot number 18, and I've got it priced up there at £1,500 to £2,000. Collectively, I think we're looking at between 5,000 and 7,000 for the whole lot. A good time for me to break. We're very privileged indeed to be offering a very fine park library from a local property of, I think, the very best colour plate books I've seen for many years. And by colour plate we mean illustrations in colour, in lithography or aquatints, that's hand colouring. And we happen to have in this particular sale no less than 4 works by the great landscape garden designer Humphrey Repton. Really they're a successor, if you like, to Capability Brown. And he didn't invent the method, but he certainly perfected it in the late 18th and early 19th century of impressing his clients. Samantha, if you come this way, this is his famous work on the Brighton Pavilion, and he would show an image of what it might have looked like at the time, and then with these overslips, as they're called, he could show how it could be improved. He did actually, it's not often realised, but he did actually win the contract with the Prince of Wales, the Prince Regent, but unfortunately the Prince Regent ran out of money, so that the project couldn't be completed. It was later taken up, of course, by one of Repton's competitors, John Nash, who completed it in the manner in which we see it today. But these reveals, they're just remarkable. He worked a lot with the Duke of Bedford and on Woburn Abbey, and again he would show the landscape as it was, and then his reveal. But this is what it could look like, sir. This is what it could look like, and it's absolutely beautiful, all hand coloured. And this particular volume is his first one from the late 1770s, and we've got this one priced at, here we are, that's at 8,000 to 12,000. I should have mentioned this particular the Pavilion book is a second issue, which is why it's priced only at 1,500 to 2,000 instead of might have been 3,000 or 4,000. I think this is one of our nice books in the entire sale. This is a fabulous copy, The History of the River Thames. But the binding itself is just stupendous. It's by the Boydell brothers, dated 1794, and it contains a large number again of aquatints, that's hand-coloured watercolours of different views along the Thames. It's a remarkable work, and the text is also in very nice condition. If you want to buy this one, this will cost, we think, between £2,000 and £3,000. But a lot of people would like this fabulous book in their library. It is quite magnificent, really is magnificent. Again, more colour plate books here, and going towards the end. This time it's not coloured, it's a colour plate book, but it's coloured lithographs, this time not hand colouring. And this is Simpson's famous work, The Seat of War in the East. There you are, dated 1855. Got a bit of foxing on the title page, but happily most of the text is pretty nice condition. But the plates are stunning quality, absolutely stunning. And this one again is priced at £1,200 to £1,600. It suffered from a bit of damp, this one. But that can be dealt with, I think, with a bit of careful restoration. Also in the sale, we have something I think is very unusual indeed. We've been instructed to sell a very large library of 16th century and 17th century vellum books in Latin and Greek, mostly in Latin, and they come from a direct descendant of the Canon Lacy Hulbert-Powell, born in Anglesey, schooled in Cambridge, and later became the Canon of Ely. I say it's unusual because there aren't many sales in this last decade anywhere in the country which would have had over 100 books printed between 1500 and 1600, which these are. It is quite unusual. He would, of course, in those days, in the 1920s when he was collecting, he would have bought them for literally for shillings or a few pounds at the most. There are a few notes of prices in the books, but they're not massively expensive. We're talking here between 50 or 100 pounds. I think our top price might be 1,500, maybe 2,000 pounds. But it is a remarkable thing. So there it is. We've got a very eclectic mix for you. It's on view this coming Friday, Saturday, Monday. We'll even allow you to have a look on the sale day, right up until the sale starts at 12 o'clock prompt noon on Tuesday, the 19th of October. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip.